What are going to be our meta cards out of Battles of Legend Glorious Gallery? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that Pear Bear Scare button so you guys don't miss out more. I obligatorily had to put this on the list because when this card first came out, it was one of the most talked about cards that was in the game because it's very unique. So it says your opponent can reveal one Pear Bear Scare in their deck or hand, and if they do, each player gains 2,000 life points. Yeah, but if they do not reveal, you can destroy one monster your opponent controls. Ah, yes, a free pop. And this card is sent from the field to the graveyard. Add this card to your opponent's hand. Okay, well, you enjoy your Pear Bear Scare off of this, but it's just really funny that it turns into a non-targeting pop. That if they try to Pear Bear Scare you back, that your Pear Bear, you're probably just going to continuously be able to, get pops off of this, which is hilarious. But like I said, interesting little sub card within the set, just kind of get people a little bit excited for, little tech choices. And then we have the Endymion support. Well, we got Regulus, which is the Prince of Endymion in this set. We got his castle, and then we got Jenny in this set. Those were great little starts, but we didn't get Vray in this set. Basically, the way that this set is kind of setting itself up, we are trying to get a lot of strong cards kind of into rotation for the spellcaster pile. If you've already seen the TCG and OCG builds of this, can be very, very scary with the different levels of tech choices that you're kind of able to explore within the space of this deck. And I actually really like this. I like that you have so much potential deck buildability with this. It's actually kind of nice. So we'll kind of see where this one goes. Now we have Dragoonity. Now, some of the techs in this set are going to take a while to be realized. Now, when I say that, I think it's just kind of a downside to the overall structuring of the format that, Georgius needs the new Hulk in order to truly get off the ground. And I do think once we get access to the new Hulk, Georgius will become a very problematic card. But until then, you're going to have people out here that are going to be testing out the waters, the splash ability, and they're going to be trying to see, all right, what can I do to build up the new Dragoonity end board within the Dragoonity deck itself. Right now, it's just going to be the build, but when you do get the chance to see that build kind of overcome a lot of its big things, I think that'll be a good thing. And then we have Constellars. Now, somebody's going to be like, well, Robbie, you didn't mention Satellar Knights in the pickups video. That's fine. I think this package is more meta-relevant than anything because the big guy is pretty good. He lets you slap on top of a Tellar Knight or Constellar Exceed monster you control. If you have 7 or more Tellar Knight monsters with different names in your graveyard or banishment, it gets 2,700 attack and defense. It becomes unaffected by your opponent's activated effects. And once per turn, detach any number of materials from this card to target that many cards your opponent controls and shuffle them into the deck. The fact that the Exostellar Knight, Constellar Ptolemy Omega 7, God, say that 10 times fast, actually is a pretty strong boss monster, and in itself is pretty nice. And I actually like that. And of course, they made it generic and they made it usable within the archetype for you to be able to work with. So I think that this gets a pretty big pass from me, just to what you can do with the deck. Now, brings us to Fallen Angel in the Darkness. This is probably one of the most anticipated Dark Lord cards that people have been waiting for, because you have to send a fairy from the hand or face on the field of the graveyard, but you can special summon any Dark Lord monster from hand, deck, or banishment, ignoring its summoning conditions. This is always treated as a Dark Lord card, is another very important line of text on this card. This gives you the ability to recycle this with, the other Dark Lord cards that you're able to work with. And you know what? Okay, we'll take that. Dark Lord players, I know you guys are out there. I just don't know if you're going to want to play this card, or if you're going to just kind of pass on this. I don't really feel like it's a pass per se, but it's definitely considerable for what you want to work with. And then we have Surprise Fusion. Now this card, there's two very funny things that this card does. So Surprise Fusion lets you target a face of monster you control and declare a monster type and an attribute. That monster becomes that type and attribute. Then you can. The rest of this effect is completely optional. Then you can fusion summon a fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters you control, including that monster. And then we can banish this card from the graveyard, attribute a fusion monster, and if you do, special summon 2 surprise tokens as a spellcaster, 0 attack, 0 defense with the same level as attributed monster had on the field. I like that this is a card that you can change a card to Light Fiend, and you would be able just to do some really funny things with this. And if you want to go further beyond that, we get the ability to also combo this up with, fusion summoning. That's pretty unique, man. It probably still won't see a crazy amount of play, but I like what they were trying with this. It's very, very cool. Junkmeister. This card will be fully realized when we get the rest of the synchro stuff later in the year. But basically, this thing says, hey, if it's in your hand, reveal warrior or start a synchro monster in your extra deck, special summon it. You get locked out of the extra deck except for synchros. And on normal or special summon, we get to add any junk card from your deck to your hand, which actually gets you into another monster that can beam itself out. And then you can target one junk monster you control, reduce its level by 2. And honestly, this card's really freaking good. The Yusei Fudo Turbo decks will be playing this card a lot, especially post the Overframe collection. It's just kind of a shame that, we have to wait so long to be able to do this. And I mean, maybe some of the enjoyers of Synchro Turbo will give this a shot a little bit earlier in, the card's life, but we'll have to wait and see. And then, of course, Masked Hero Fountain. Fountain, I think, is one of the cards that every hero player has been waiting for, because it's like the ultimate one of. It's just a reveal in the hand, special summon a hero from your hand in defense mode. It could technically beam itself out off of this, and if it's into the graveyard by a card effect, or to activate a card effect, you can send a mash change from your deck or graveyard. This was kind of here's the big hero upgrade that you've all been waiting for. This card's job is to make Hero even more consistent than it already is. Now, obviously, you're being restricted to only using each effect of him once per turn, but I mean, who cares? As long as he is granting you extra resource pushes for you to kind of keep the deck going and keep rotating through things, congratulations, you've made your deck work. And then we have Shaddoll's. The reason why Shaddoll's so high up on this meta list is because, genuinely, I know a lot of people are going to want to rage quit just off of losing to a Winda. TCG players are some of the saltiest people that you can face when having a Winda come down against them. And it's hilarious to actually see. Now that you've consistently allowed this deck to do this with multiple forms, you got Void Liberation, which is going to speed this up, which, by the way, we didn't get a reprint on the Infernoid monster, so that's going to be a little bit of a problem for later on. I can already hear the complaining on that, but, that's okay. We'll deal with that later. But outside of that, sure, man. We'll see where this goes. And then probably your most problematic card is Overtuning. Every Cool Tune player, I think, is going to want to test this card out. I mean, if you've got a tuner monster on the field, this just gives you another tuner monster literally being able to be beamed out. It doesn't negate effects. It gives you all the extending capabilities that you could possibly want to see wrapped up on one broken card. And honestly, it's going to be pretty interesting to see, where this one's going to go. But what do you guys think about everything? Because I'm definitely excited for this stuff. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons! Thank you! Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.